Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is my second take of this video of discussing all the books I've read in 2025 because life happened and the whole clip of me talking about books, like the whole 45-minute video got deleted. Yeah, so really good fortune, but it got really deleted, like the whole fucking thing deleted. So I just have to redo this whole video. And like it was such a good video, like we talked about so many good things, but now we have to talk again, but it's okay, life happens. It happens to best of us. Let's talk about our books that I have read in 2025. This year was a reread for me. Like I did so many rereads in this whole year, and there is a reason for that, which we are going to talk about in the end of the video. So stay tuned and subscribe. Okay, so if I have to divide a whole reading year of 2025, I can do it in two phases. I can call it phase 1, break, and phase 2. So the phase 1 of mine was all about Mariana Zapata. Like seriously, I read all her books in phase 1. Like the start of the year, I was just reading about Mariana Zapata. Then I took a little break in between for a few months, but then we have our phase 2 of this year. I have been reading Ali Hazelwood non-stop. Like all the books I read in December was Ali Hazelwood. Every single one of that. Let's talk about the books I read again. Okay, so the first book I have is Protecting What's His by Tessa Bailey. It was a really short, quick book about an FMC who is on the run with her sister to like get away from her estranged mother. And there was a police officer in Chicago City where they both end up living now. So they both live right across from each other in the apartment. So it's forced proximity, insta love, insta lust, that kind of romance. And one hell of spicy book, as you can expect from Tessa Bailey. Second book I have is Fangirl Down Again by Tessa Bailey. It's a taboo boss-employee romance between the AMC and the FMC. The male character was a golf player and the female character we have was his Katie. I think that's how it's pronounced. So this is whole we should not do this, we should do this, that kind of stuff, and also really spicy. So the yes, I think I gave this book 3.5 stars, I guess. I don't remember much. Actually, I haven't taken out my stack of books right now because I have put them very delicately in my wardrobe and arranged them very specifically, so I really don't want to take them all out because I don't have any physical bookshelf. So let's just make a do like this. Third book I read is Coach. This is a reread for me and it was also a second chance romance. The main character is a coach in the book, and the female character and the main character used to be best friends, but then he got someone pregnant and then she went away, and now, or I guess I can say that he went away. Yeah, he went away and now he's back with his daughter and he's a coach now of football, I guess, and she's also a manager there. So this is forced proximity, second chance, reunion type of romance, and it was quick, easy read, not very much dramatic of ex-drama and all that, but yeah, it was a really easy read for me. So the next book we have is Walking Olivia, and when I get into the reading of that book, I thought it's going to be a simple forced proximity taboo romance type of a book. Like it is going to be taboo relationship between a coach and his student, because the MC here is a coach and the FMC we have is his student. But when I got into the reading of it, like halfway there I realized that it's so much more than that. Like it talked about her trauma and what happened to her family and to all of them, and how she's like really still dealing with that kind of thing. So it was like a little traumatic to read and it was kind of deep to read about that. And it was actually a reread for me because I really enjoyed this book. I really loved it. Next book we have is All the Missing Pieces by Catherine. I don't remember the surname of the author. This book is set up in a small town and it's about a murder mystery. The FMC came into this town. She works on podcasts and she interviews people and victims and their families who like faced some traumatic situations in their life, and then she came to this town because her own sister also went missing. So it's like she's like linking all those cases with each other, and she came to this town because it was like the foundation of all those cases, because it started from here. And we have the MC who is a police officer, I guess, and his sister also went through stuff like that, so she's here to interview her and to get into the depth of the story and all those things happening and who is behind them. So this is kind of forced proximity and they both working together to find the murderer and stuff like that. I enjoyed this book. I liked it. It was not a reread for me for once, and I gave this book, I guess, 3.5 star. And I really was shocked to know who was after all that. So the plot twist was really good. Next, I read You Are the Boss. It was a reread for me. Forced proximity, boss and employee romance. And the one thing I loved about this book is like the family dynamics. Like I really enjoyed the interactions between all of them. Like the grandfather was the president, the father was vice president, and the son, the main MC, was the CEO, I guess, of the company. And then his assistant, the female character we have. So this is all work in one place, and their interaction was so good to read. Like it was so funny and really awesome to read that. The grandfather and father was like plotting stuff to like put them both together, and then they sent them away to this small town to oversee the renovations of something, like they are building homes and hotels there. So there's that. So I really enjoyed reading this book. Like I really enjoyed it. It was so funny to read about that, and it was non-dramatic. Like it was really non-dramatic and not that much of a, like it was really a quick, easy, fast-paced book. From here onwards, we start our phase 1 of talking about Mirana Zapata, because I started reading Luna and the Lie, which I gave 5 stars to. Slow burn, such a slow burn, which I really love. Forced proximity again, boss and employee romance. Luna, we have, works on a mechanic shop, and Rip owns that mechanic shop along with his father, which we didn't knew that they were father and son until the end of the book. Not necessary, but yeah, I loved this book really much. All the Mariana Zapata men are always grumpy and never shows their caring towards the FMC, but nothing but actions. So I really loved reading that book and their interactions. It was a reread, so I have already know. I just hated her sisters. Like I really disliked her sister so much, and I have a valid reason to say so. So if you read this book, and if you have read this book, you know what I'm talking about. Next book we have is Under Lock, again by Mariana Zapata. Again, boss and employee, forced proximity romance, and also this is a brother's best friend romance, because Iris we have is sisters with Dex's best friend or friend, I guess. She works as a receptionist in this tattoo parlor, and Dex owns that said tattoo parlor, and he's also a tattoo artist. And I really loved reading that. He was so grumpy and possessive about her, and he was literally so good to read that. And it was also about motorcycle gang and gang members and like criminals and stuff like that. And I hated her father, like that piece of shit. Like I really hated him. One thing about Mariana Zapata, I just like really love her books. Like her books feels like a feeling of home to me, like the way she writes romances, it's actually feel like it can happen in our lives. Like it can happen in our lives. I can actually feel that. Not all motorcycle gang and all that, but actually it like makes me feel much more relatable than any other book I've ever read. And I don't know, I just feel like no author is going to top up that ever for me. Her books are like just these missing pieces, the missing puzzle pieces that fits together for me. Like it's feeling so cozy and warm, and just I can't explain the feeling when I read her books. So yeah, I am not apologetic to read her books again and again. Okay, so the next book I read is Best Thing by Mariana Zapata. It's like a second chance romance. So we have Lenny and Jonah. So Lenny and Jonah met on this holiday together, and they had a hot fling. And Jonah is a rugby player, but because of an injury, he was like went into depression, like deep depression. And Lenny had a child, and she tried to like contact with him so much, but he was into this depressing state, so he just couldn't get into contact with anyone. And now 2 years went by, and he is now back to see Lenny, and he had no idea about the surprise of his life he is going to get. So now that he got to know about his daughter, he is like saying that he wants a chance to prove himself and like get into the life of hers and her daughter. Whole second chance romance. Like, the one thing I loved in this book is like Grandpa Gus. I really loved it. Like that character, like Grandpa Gus, was so adorable, cute to read about. Like he was such a delight. Like sometimes some side characters just put such an impact on us that we forget everything about the book and the main characters, but never them. Grandpa Gus was one of them. That man was like so mischievous. Seriously, he was like just a child. He was so mischievous and so adorable. Like it was like I felt so good to read about his interactions, and it was so funny to read that. Like he put so much more he was like just a cherry on top of this sweet book. Like the book was really good, but he put all those, you know. The next book we read is The Forbidden King, and it's a reread for me. And it's a small town brother's best friend romance. The female character just came into this town after finishing her studies. She is now opening a bookstore, and we have King, the main character. He is in a construction company. He owns a construction company with his friend, and he builds stuff. So he's like helping her build the bookstore from the scratch. So it's forced proximity, and they all are like this huge group of friends, just like Chestnut Spring series. We have all the 5 books of different friends. So there is that, and it's just like my brother can't know, and we can't do this behind my brother's back and stuff like that. So it's really good to read. This book I read is Spanish Love Deception, which is a reread for me, and it's also a first paper book I ever owned. I still remember it. I just got it right before my last exam, and I was so excited to open the package. So everyone and their families have read this book, I guess, so I don't have to go into deep details about this book, but it's fake dating, office romance, enemies to fake lovers to lovers, and it was so good to read that. Next we read is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I really loved that book. It was, I guess, a reread for me. I am not very sure because it was like early in the year. Talked in detail about this book on my channel so many times. Where vampire relationship, marriage of convenience, grumpy hero, mischievous straight, like also a little grumpy heroine, and slow burn, such a slow burn. I just finished reading Maid by Ali Hazelwood, and we will talk about it more in the video. The next book is Alphonse Burton, because I was into paranormal romances back then. Still am, but I was into that phase to read about. So I came across this book, but I don't remember shit. I don't remember anything about this video and what it was about, but it's just, I guess, I just gave it 2 stars. So not... It was an okay book, like it was an okay, but it didn't hit the spot for me. The MC and the FMC used to be best friends. Their father, like his father was an alpha that time, and her father, due to something, challenged him for the alpha's position, and they both died in the match, something like that. And the MC was angry with the FMC, so he sent all of them away into this old cottage house on the boundaries of the city they live in and stuff like that. And now it's just all that drama. The next book I read is Mountain Boss. Again, not very fond of this book. It's an age gap, small town romance, insta love, which I really didn't like because they act on it instantly. If they don't act on it instantly, even if it's an insta love, it will be a good book, just like Ali Hazelwood's and Miriam Zapata's. But yeah, I just didn't, this book didn't hit the spot for me either. So both were disappointment. Next book is Finding Hayes. Finding Hayes. Hayes, the brother we talked about in The Forbidden King. Her brother, King's friend or best friend, Hayes. And this book is marriage of convenience, firefighter romance, childhood friends turned strangers turned lovers. 3 stars. I gave this book 3 stars because it was a good book, but I don't find myself reading it again anytime soon or in the future. The next book I read is Narrow, and totally DNF'd it. Like, I DNF'd it, the shit out of it. I just couldn't finish after the half chapter. Like, I just read maybe 2 paragraphs of it and just couldn't complete it. Like, I just couldn't, in everything in me, I just couldn't finish it. It was like, it's just shit, man. It was full of like, I just don't need that shit. Like, it was like absolute shit. The disgusting thing is it was written in it. Like, I just can't say it because I just couldn't. So I didn't DNF'd it. The first book, the whole year I DNF'd. The next book we have is Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I read all 3 of these books. Really enjoyed it. Boss and Employee, Office Romance, Taboo Romance, Forced Proximity. We have Rowan and Zara, whole Dreamland city, and Rowan comes here as that Dreamland Park's director to did some renovations as per the grandpa's will. Again, these grandpas in the stories were so good. They are single-handedly setting their children's lives. Who needs dating apps when you have grandpa? So that man really put all 3 of his grown as sons or grandsons, I can say, into he really settled them into a really good life. Helped him met their partners. So Fine Print is also that according to the will, Rowan has to come in this park and renovate something and spend 6 months there, and then he met Zara and this whole their interactions and all that. Second book, Terms and Conditions, his elder brother Declan and his assistant Iris. His will is like he has to get married to get his shares, his part of shares, so he married Iris. His assistant, Marriage of Convenience, forced proximity again, office relationship. And the third book, Final Offer, the middle child, with like he has to go to his Lake Wisteria that we talked about, lakefront billionaires, love arranged and all that. So he has to go there, renovate their vacation house along with his childhood best friend, and then they again forced proximity, has to spend time together. But this book, I guess, was much more deeper than the other two books. Like Lauren Asher really touched deep topics in this one. He was a struggling alcoholic and an addict, so you can imagine this book, how intense this book was. Like I have to like really put myself in the book to finish it. It was getting so deep for me. It was such a huge book, like a really huge book. So I still remember that how much efforts I put into finishing that book. But I gave it 3 stars, 3.5 stars, because I really don't see myself reading it again. It was a good book, but not a reread for me. With that, we said goodbye to Dreamland Billionaire series, which I really loved and was very nostalgic to reread the series again. Okay, so the next book I read is Kulti again by Mariana Zapata. Kulti again, it was coach and his student relationship, taboo, forced proximity, and Sal used to like, the female character used to like really love Kulti, her childhood crush. But now they are like working together. He is her coach, and it's a slow burn, really slow burn, and it was really good to read. Like again, I just don't have to explain this. Her books, it's the spot. Really, it's the spot. Okay, so the next book I have is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I read all the 3 of books. Like I just finished the last book in the series just now. So let's talk about it more. Again, this book is also set up in a small town, like small town romances, and we have Julian, the main male character, and Dahlia, or Delia, I guess, the female character we have, and they are both frenemies turned enemies turned lovers. Dahlia comes back into the small town after a broken engagement, and like both of their families are really close since the start of or before their birth. Like they have been really close friends, and now their children are friends. So their meddling mothers are like trying to push them together and like getting them together and close, but they are frenemies and stuff like that. They are both renovating this dream house of Dahlia in this small town together, so it's forced proximity, and it talks about such deep topics. Like all 3 of the books, like Lauren Asher really touched the topics in these series. Really, like I think something switched in her after the Final Offer, because the Final Offer and these 3 books talked about such deep topics. Like I cried my eyes out in so many places in the books. Really, I just really did. Like my eyes were puffy and red after finishing reading the book. So this book talks about grief, death, miscarriage, and no, not miscarriage, I guess. This books really talk about grief, and I just can't say all these things, but you have to like read the trigger warnings before reading the book. I really enjoyed this book. It was a reread for me. I gave it 4.5 stars, I guess, or 4.75. I don't remember clearly, but I really loved this book. Seriously. The whole small town setting and these family dynamics and the found family vibes I was getting from the series was really good. The second book I read in the series, it was also the second book in the series, Love Unwritten. It was about Rafa, Julian's cousin, and Ellie, his nanny. Like Rafa was single dad, and it was single dad nanny romance. Like Ellie used to be in love with him when she was a teenager, but he married someone else and had a baby, so she went away, and now she is back in the town because her best friend betrayed her. And I hate that girl. Like I hate that piece of shit. I hated her best friend when I was reading her story. They together went to Hawaii for a vacation, and this is forced proximity, and I really enjoyed reading their interactions with Nico, with his son. It was really good to read that. Like book, it was like how they both got their shit together. Like Rafa really started learning to trust someone else now after his ex-wife did a number on him, and Ellie again started writing songs. Next book we read is called Rhythm and Melancholy. It was surprisingly not a reread for me by Mariana Zapata, because I haven't read these books by her. I can say that these books were the early works for her. Like she wrote them very early in her career. I can just feel it with the way she wrote these books. This book is about Sasha and Gabby. Gabby is like, it is also a brother's teammate trope. Gabby's brothers are in this band and they are going on this trip or tour together in collaboration with this other band where Sasha is the lead singer. They asked Gabby to come with them, so she said yes. And then this is forced proximity, like staying together or living together for a few months. Then I read The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Paley, the second book after the Fangirl Town that we talked about in the starting of the video. It was also a single dead nanny romance, forced proximity and insta love, which I didn't like that much. And then we read Done and Dusted, short, quick, small town, brother's best friend romance. I really enjoyed that cowboy romance. I really love. Now I think we have to move through the books a little quick because the video is getting really long. After that I read Love Contract. You can like find these books in detail in my channel because I did reading blogs of all these books back in June. Then I read Love Contract and it was Marriage of Convenience, I guess, fake engagement, and it was such a tear-jerking book, right, man? It was like, it really made me cry. Seriously, it really made me cry. This book was sweet, man. And after that I read the Kings of Sin series, the whole King of Sin series again for the reading blog on my channel. King of Wrath, King of Pride, King of Greed, King of Sloth. Enjoyed it, loved it. Reread for me. I really enjoyed King of Sloth. I really loved that one. And King of Wrath. And King of Pride. Like, actually I loved all the books. I gave them 3-4 stars each book. After that I read Neon Gods again, a reread for me. Enjoyed it. And then I read When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata, and it's going to be Mariana Zapata now. Like When Gracie Met the Grump, hands down. Dear Aaron, Lingers, From Luca with Love, The Fall of Winnipeg and Me, and Things We Water. Like I told you, I was like in my streak of Mariana Zapata. Like I was on a streak. Like I was on a Mariana Zapata marathon. Seriously. Enjoyed all the books. Except for, I guess, Hands Down and Lingers. And Dear Aaron. These three were not a reread for me. I read them for the first time and really didn't enjoy that because Hands Down didn't hit the spot. Brother's Best Friend. Dear Aaron, Long Distance Pen Pulse also didn't hit the spot. And Lingers, A Pawn Star, it also really didn't hit the spot. So yeah. Except for that, I really loved her other books. And the last book by her we have is Things We Water. It's a magical creatures. Like there is this town where all the magical creatures live, and the female MC comes here with her pet, who was also a magical creature. So she could help him live with his type of species. So she comes here, and the MC was a werewolf, and it was like really good to read that, like how she manages to live here and get together with everyone and their proximity and all that. Loved it. I'm just desperately waiting for her new release. We are just getting on the end of it. So just please stay tuned, and if you liked it, subscribe. Then we read The King of Envy. Did we talk about The King of Envy? No, shayad. Maybe we didn't, right? So I was really, like, I was anticipating it so much to read it. Like, I was fully anticipated it to be 5-star read for me. And it was, I guess, not 5-star for me actually. We have Vuk and Alana. Alana is a supermodel, and Vuk is like CEO of this alcohol business, but people are after him, wants him dead, and all this drama and stuff like that. I liked it, but not that much to read it again, I guess. Book was so possessive of her, like he was so possessive of her. It was really good to read that. And she was marrying his best friend, so it's like seeing yearning and longing of Book was really good to read, like the way that man longed for her and like yearned for her. So the next book I read is Violet Made of Thorns. I have heard neither of the author nor the book before, but I found it when I was thrifting for some books, and I have to like really put my mind into it and to understand the characters and all these terms that they have been using. It was a book set up in a very ancient time of like kings and queens and witches and magic and all that, and it was like ended on a cliffhanger. So I got into contact. Like I contacted the author on Instagram and asked if she's like thinking of writing the next part, but she said that because of some reasons she won't be able to continue the series, so we can just assume their happy relationships in our mind. So I did just that, but I gave this book 2.5 stars. It didn't hit the spot for me. Okay, so phase number 1 is finished, and now we are entering our phase 2 of talking about Ali Hazelwood books, because I just read only Ali Hazelwood from then on. So the first books, I can't say first, but the next book I read is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. It's a university college romance, I can say. The main character was in like a swimmer, and the female character is a diver, I guess. It is like friends with benefits and reverse grumpy sunshine, I can say. But again, in Ali Hazelwood, as I can say, the main characters are always so caring towards the female characters. Like, they are so caring and protective towards them. Like, they are always making sure that they are like comfortable and they have everything they need. So I really loved reading that. Didn't like their friend. Like, the female character's friend used to date the main character, and now they are both in relationship, or I can say they are both friends with benefits. She's okay with it, but later on that she just upholds so many drama, and I just didn't like her that much. Like, girl, make sure you know what you want. Next book I read is Bound, again by Elizabeth. It's paranormal, vampires, romance. It's a very short novella type of a book, and the female character is a very good professional in like forging things. Like, she forges documents and stuff and antiques like that. And the main character, I'm so sorry for the background noise, just bear with me a little bit. This is the time for children to play, so yeah. But the main character comes into contact with the female character and asks her to like forge this book for him. So they are both working in forced proximity, and she is like making this forgery for him, and he has a big plan of doing what he wants with that book and why he's doing what he's doing. And she is a human, he is a vampire, so this is interspecies romance. Really liked that book. Great, short and quick, and really liked the book. Next I have Hot for Slayer, Ali Hazelwood. Both, like, one is female is vampire, main character is like vampire slayer, like he kills vampires and she is a vampire. So they are both like chasing around each other. Like, she's running away from him, he's always chasing her to like kill her. And they are like centuries old, like they are literally centuries old. Like, when I think about these things in the books, like they are so old, like they have been living for so long. Like, I just can't put or wrap my mind around this. So it's like really mind-boggling to read about that. But again, really loved it. Short, quick novella, very like only 60 pages, I guess. Then I read First. I really didn't like that book. Like, that book gives me icks. Like, I just can't believe that Ali Hazelwood wrote this book. Like, I just didn't like that book anyhow. The way they talked about women, again, they were like werewolves and alphas and omegas and betas and stuff like that. But I just didn't like that. I just hated that book. I thought of DNFing it in midway, but it was only, again, just 40-50 pages. So I thought just finish it and think what I think about it. But after finishing it, I just didn't like it at all. Hated that book. So 1 star, or I guess 0 stars from me. Then I read Cruel Winter with You. It is also a Christmas short novella about female character and her friend's brother. So it's best friend's brother, younger MC and older FMC, just by 3 years, I guess, not that much of an age gap. And yeah, it's just like second chance romance, and they both end up in a house middle of a storm on Christmas Eve, and they just put all their misunderstandings and, I can say, past behind, and creates all the miscommunications between them and just reunites with each other. So a very quick, if you want something like Christmassy, quick, short, happy ending, you can read that book. Then I read Mate, the second book after Pride, and absolutely love that book. Like, really, really love that book. You can just, for detailed description, you can check out my latest video on the channel, 24 hours reading challenge. But I really loved this book. This is about Queen and Serena. Serena is Misery's best friend from Pride, and Queen is like an older brother to Lo, from Pride to Lo. Serena is a hybrid, so she comes to Queen for protection. Queen is an alpha of Northwest Pack, and just forced proximity. They like, she is his maid, but he just can't act on it, and he has a good reason for that, and just really loved reading it. It was such an emotional turmoil at the end. Like, I was just like thinking that what will happen every single time. So I loved it. Alright, so the last book of 2025, we have, like, the video is coming to an end, and fortunately I have at least one paperback with me, is Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, and the third book in the Lake Wisteria series. Sorry, it's the third book in Lakefront series. It, like, I gave it 4 stars. It was like such a big book. Like, it was really a big book. So I guess say I just started it in 2025 and finished it in 26, because I finished it on 1st of January. So I can say just halfway. Yeah. But this was like such a deep, heartfelt book. Like, my heart was like crunching and crushing reading this book, like every single time. Like, they didn't even ease up in this book. Like, the author was like, I am going to make you cry from the first chapter. And I was like, please don't. I was like crying so much. Like, I just cried my eyes out in this book. Like, my eyes was literally red and puffy. Like, if you watched my Happy New Year video, you can like notice my eyes were so puffy in that video, in that vlog. But it was like marriage of convenience, romance. Lorenzo wants to run for mayor in this Lake Wisteria town. We met him in book 1 and 2, and we saw him as a villain, but we really got to know about his backstory in this book, and it was so sad. Like, seriously, it was so sad to read about this backstory and about the trauma he went through. I really loved this book. It was so deep and heartfelt. Seriously, it was so deep. Like, the author touched so many deep topics in this book. The grief they both went through, like, she lost her father, and he lost both his parents to a tragic accident, which is not an accident at all. It was a murder, I can say, hit and run. But you will know more about this book if you read this book. So if you haven't, check this book out and tell me. But yeah, I just really cried. So I don't think I'm going to reread this book anytime soon. So it's a 4-star for me. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. Like, today was really very memorable for me, because I had to re-record the whole video again. And finally we come to the end of this video. I talked about all the books I have read in 2025 for the first time. Like, I don't think I have done this video last year, but yeah, I was about to give up this year too. I was like, let it be, I'm not recording it again. But then I think, let's do it. It's okay. So yes, this is it for today's video. Thank you for watching till the end. If someone is here right now, I don't know if I'm talking with myself or if at least someone is watching, but if you are, thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye.